Hola Chanelies, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you've never been here before. My name is Jayla, also known as Jay Chanelli on the internet, so that is where you can find me. If I'm blinking a lot, I'm sorry, my contacts hurt. But I'm coming to you guys today because I want to talk about how to find your perfect foundation shade. Now that's something that I struggle with, and I feel like a lot of people, you know, once in their makeup journey has struggled with finding their right foundation shade, whether it's matching your undertone, whether it's actually finding your shade. Like, do they even make your shade? Whatever it is, whatever your troubles are, I just want to go ahead and talk about it today, and hopefully we can both come out better on the other side. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel, y'all. I'm coming with the videos. I'm being pretty consistent, and I just want to make sure that you guys are tuned in and you're enjoying the content that I'm producing. So go ahead and subscribe. Alrighty, let's get into it. Alright, so this video was inspired by my own personal struggles with finding my foundation shade. With that being said, I want to come and talk to you guys about how to find your perfect foundation shade match. And just like some of the mistakes that I might make that you may also make, and we can go ahead and just nip those in the bud right now. So number one, finding your shade is very language dependent. Now you may be very confused on what that means, but the makeup industry in general uses a specific language just like you would in any professional field. And you need to know the language. You need to be able to speak the language in order to get the correct product, if that makes any sense. In the beauty industry, there are about 5 overall shades of foundation which represent shades of people. So you have fair, which are people with very pale skin. You have light, also pretty pale, but not as pale as the fair people. You have medium, where you start to get more of what you traditionally think of as olive. You have dark, is when you definitely get into like the arena of women of color, although women of color can be in any of the shades. Like, women of color are so diverse, we can literally be in any of the categories, but dark is where you definitely start to get women of color. Deep dark is definitely where you get into like black people. You may get into Indian people. You may get into anybody who has like a really deep skin complexion. They're considered deep dark. Now, it's important to know the language that the beauty industry uses, because that might not necessarily be the language that you use in your everyday life, or that you may even use within your culture. For example, it took me a long time to adjust to the language of the beauty industry because I'm an African American, and African Americans consider light to be something that is completely different from what the beauty industry considers light to be. To me, if I'm describing someone who is light-skinned, I'm thinking of a light-skinned black person like an Alicia Keys or Beyonce or a Halle Berry. Those people to me are light-skinned. Now, in the beauty industry, light-skinned or a light person would be like a Nikki Tutorials. Language is also very coded, and there's a history behind the language and how it's developed, but that topic, my friends, is for another video. So, know the language, because when you know the language, it's easier for you to find your foundation shade. I am usually always somebody's caramel, somebody's toffee, sometimes somebody's mocha, but I know when I see those when I see those names, those are the names I gravitate towards, because that is the language used to describe people of my skin complexion. So point number 2 of finding your perfect foundation match, you have to know your undertone. This is something that a lot of people neglect. I was one of those people, but knowing your undertone is so important. So you have like a skin complexion, right? So you have a skin complexion, and then you have an undertone. You can be cool toned, you can be warm toned, or you can be neutral. Those are 3 categories we have. There are many different ways to find out what your undertone is. Here are some that the beauty industry swears by: is the vein color, jewelry, clothes colors or colors in general, and tanning. The most helpful for me is vein color. So if you look at the inside of your arm, if your veins appear to be more blue, then you are cool toned. If your veins appear to be more green, then you are warm toned. If your veins are blue-green, like mine appear to be, you are considered neutral. What if you can't see your vein color? Well, you can look at other tests such as jewelry tests. They say that cool tone people look better in silver jewelry, whereas warm tone people look better in gold jewelry. As you can tell, I'm wearing a silver earring and gold hoops, so I'm very neutral tone because I don't prefer either silver or gold. I think both look good on me. So this is my beautiful color wheel. The colors on this side are considered to be cool tone colors. The colors on this side are considered to be warm tone colors. So if you look good in blues or purples, you're probably more cool tone. But if you look really good in like oranges and yellows, you're more likely warm tone. Why is this important? Because your undertone never changes. No matter how dark you get, no matter how light you get, it never changes. And it really plays a part into whether a foundation will match you. Case in point, Fenty Beauty. Fenty Beauty launched last year, September 2017, I believe, and they came out with 40 brand new shades to fit people of all skin tones. They also featured many different undertones, warm, neutral, and cool. So it was possible to have a foundation that was technically your shade, but it wasn't your undertone, and therefore it did not look good on you. I'm going to insert some footage of me swatching some foundations from Maybelline Fit Me, and these swatches will show you basically how undertones work. You can definitely have a correct shade but incorrect undertone, which is why it's super important for brands to indicate what undertone a foundation is. Brands like Fenty Beauty do this. Brands like L'Oreal True Match have been doing this. Of course, MAC does this. There are plenty of brands who do indicate their undertone, so make sure you're paying attention to that when you're grabbing a foundation. Number 3, your winter versus your summer shade. Hello, this is the reason I'm here making this video, because I was wearing my winter shade in the summer and I was looking ashy AF. For reference, my winter shade in Maybelline Fit Me foundation is 330 Toffee Caramel. My summer shade, which I'm wearing today, is 338 Spicy Brown. To me, they are both on the neutral side. 330 is a little more neutral olive, so that's why it's almost like grayish, greenish grayish, which fits me perfectly just because that's how my skin is. But make sure you stay consistent with the undertones. Number 4 is ask for samples when you can. Obviously, you guys know that you can go to Sephora and get a sample of like any foundation that they have. You can get up to like 3 a day, I heard someone say. I don't know, fact check me on that, but ask for them samples. Also, something that I do personally, because I don't like to walk into a store uninformed. I like to walk in there and just be like, boom, that's what I'm getting. I don't need to swatch anything in front of y'all. Like, I know what I'm doing. That's basically how I am when I walk into Sephora. So something that you can do to pinpoint your foundation shade before you even walk into a store is stalk IG pages. Stalk the IG pages of the models that brands use, like the campaign models. Stalk their IG pages. So for instance, some people that I use as shade references are Alyssa Ashley. Alyssa Ashley is not the same color as me, nor is she the same undertone, but I know if she has a certain shade that I know I need to go a little darker. Like, that's just how that works for me. Some other people are like Makeup Shayla. I know I'm slightly lighter than Makeup Shayla, so if she's using a certain shade, I know to go a little lighter. That is the most helpful tip for me. Stock them IG pages. Use IG to the best of your ability. Use it to your advantage so that if you're ordering online and you can never actually see the foundation in person before you purchase, you won't be stuck like Chuck. Okay, last but not least, tip number 5. Now, this one is going to be super annoying, and I apologize, but it's necessary for some people to get their correct foundation shade. Sometimes you just gotta mix. Unfortunately, a lot of people in that medium to dark category end up having to mix because foundation shades just seem to jump when you get to the dark range, the deep dark. Sometimes, you know, deep dark is like, okay, we're done, we're ended prematurely. But mixing is really good, guys. If you can't find your exact shade but you really want to use that foundation, I sometimes mix foundations not for the shade, not for the foundation shade, but for the finish. So I love to use my Maybelline Fit Me foundation just because I love the finish of it. But I also mix it with the Maybelline Superstay foundation because Maybelline Superstay has a lot more coverage, and I want that coverage that Fit Me doesn't give. So sometimes you can mix for the finish. Sometimes I like to mix my Maybelline Fit Me with my Fenty foundation because Fenty dries down to like a soft natural matte, and I do not like transfers. I would suggest mixing a high-end foundation with the drugstore foundation because you get the best of both worlds. So I was this close to making it through an entire video without technical difficulties, but technology won't let me live. So that is the end of the video, guys. Those are my 5 tips to finding your perfect foundation shade. I hope these tips were helpful. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any other tips or tricks to finding your perfect foundation match. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if y'all like educational, like talk through videos like this. I love you guys, and thank you for watching. See you in the next one.